What's up, party people? Welcome back to another episode of Party XP. Happy New Year. Happy 2026. I'm your host,
Woo!
Jeff, and you just heard Lakan. Say hi, Lakan.
All the acquaintance we
Something, something.
Old lang syne.
Something, something.
Something.
Suck my balls.
Something. Old lang
Suck my
syne.
fucking balls. Yep, that's it.
Nailed it.
Yeah, definitely nailed it. Yeah. Any fun plans or anything like that?
I don't know. Like, New Year's been off to a good start for me. Nothing I want to talk about too soon right now. But yeah, like, got some trips planned for this year. Hopefully visit my brother a little bit more again.
Yeah.
Of course, see the nephew. But yeah, big things happening on my end. How about you?
We had a quiet week, or quiet holiday. I went to my in-laws, and then we were home on New Year's Day. I didn't really do much of anything, but yeah, I mean, here's hoping not too much crazy stuff. Personally,
Enough
and all
fun,
that, so.
but no chaos, right?
Yeah, I don't need any chaos or anything like that. So
yeah, I had my cousins came over, my nephew. They came over for dinner for like 3 hours because they were going to their other cousin's family as well too, like on her side. So I was like, okay, cool, that's fine. They came over, had some, had a bunch of food. Just got to just enjoy time with family. That's all I can ask for on New Year's, honestly. I want it to be relaxed.
cool. Well, like every good New Year's celebration, I thought that we could go gambling.
Let's go gambling.
Let's go gambling.
Is this it? Is this finally it, Jeff?
Yeah. We're gonna do it. We're just gonna gonna kick off the year in style. We're gonna play CloverPit. Obviously, if you're listening to this, you saw the episode title and you know what's coming. So yeah, we're gonna play CloverPit finally. From the team of Panic Arcade. I think he's a single dev, or it's a very small team. And published by Future Friend Games. CloverPit is a casino roguelite in the vein of Balatro and a few other games that I've seen. But this is, instead of poker, it's slots. I love a good slot machine. So this absolutely tickled my fancy. This came out in September. I can't believe it's been that. Well, I mean, I started my new job in September, so everything feels like a blur, right? But
yeah,
it's been a few months, so let's finally get into it. And yeah, it's basically just a slot machine roguelite. It's kind of got this creepy vibe to it, right? There's a lot of stuff that kind of breeds an unsettling feeling when you're playing the game, but otherwise it's just playing slots, man. And that's the best part of it, I think, for me as a degenerate gambler who loves going to Atlantic City and has just been talking about it with my friends to go to Atlantic City again. Like, it scratches the itch.
just to like disrespect money a little bit. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah, man.
I get it. Yeah, man, absolutely. I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah. I know you kind of kept away from it, and that was a little unfair because I played it nonstop for 2 weeks.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
I haven't played it recently just because I've been busy. It's worth it. It's worth it. Like it's worth the wait. It's incredible. Like I will say this. Like I don't think it's definitely not as good as Balatro. Clearly, because it didn't win Game of the Year and every fucking award known to man, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's different levels of fun because again, like when you go to the casino and you go to the slots to sit, to get the drinks brought to you, to veg out, to slap the big button over and over again. You watch the pictures roll around, you get the bright lights, you get the bells, you get the things on the screen. That's kind of what this game is about, yeah.
So it's like just big serotonin hits, basically.
Exactly.
Which I'm absolutely down for.
Exactly. That's what this is all about. So I don't want to talk too much strategy. I don't want to talk too much. Just know that you are going to get that opportunity to scratch that itch a little bit. And I think you're going to like it because you have a primal brain like me. So I think you're going to like it.
Yeah, just the neuron activation is all I'm looking for whenever I play anything like that.
Yeah, man.
And, of course, roguelite, of course, it's going to be like I'm curious to see how a slot machine roguelike works. Cuz like I've dipped into a couple streams of like some some VTubers that I watch or some regular streamers that I watch like playing it, and I'm like, okay, I see a little bit. I don't want to dip too hard, because I want to keep the surprise for myself,
Right.
when I actually get around to playing the game. But yeah, really, I've been excited for this one. I've been chomping at the bit for months now to start playing it. Basically held off because you told me no, you're gonna do this for the podcast. I was like, okay, fine, I'll just wait.
Sorry.
And
Yeah.
it's here. It's finally here.
Right.
Finally
Well,
ready to go.
I mean, we had so many like themed episodes. Oh, here's the
Yeah.
holiday guide. Here's this. Here's that. And then we had
Yeah,
episodes that
yeah.
we've been working on for a while. So we're finally at the point now where we can finally get back to the bread and butter of the show and get some games to play. And I thought this was a good way to start. Do you want to go over the sort of how the game flow works beforehand, or do you want to just kind of recap it after you get your hands on it for a little bit?
Let's let me go in blind unless there's something specifically you need me to watch out for.
Nah, I don't think there's anything you need to watch out for. Just go have fun.
Okay, sick. Yeah, okay, I'm ready to go.
All right, friends. On the other side of this short break, Lakan will have played CloverPit. Hopefully, he still has his car and all his stuff.
My kidneys,
Yeah,
I
Well,
have two of
yeah.
them, right? So I can get rid of one.
Right. Well, they might take one. But for you guys, it'll be just a short break. We will see you on the other side. Okay, we are back after like a week, and that's usually either a good thing or a bad thing. So, Lakan, which, in true slot machine fashion, which one is it?
Good. Very, very good.
Yeah.
Very good thing.
Okay, I'm glad.
Let's go gambling!
Yeah.
Absolutely addicted to this game
Uh-huh.
for the whole week. Every day at lunch for like 45 minutes. Every day after work for like another hour or so. 2-3 hour sessions on the weekends. The last 2 weekends anyway. Yeah, no, this game is absolutely fantastic. I loved every... Well, love is hard to say for a game where RNG, gambling, and runs are kind of, all part of the game.
Yes.
But the overall experience is absolutely fantastic. I
Yep.
very much enjoyed my time with this game.
Cool. So, I guess this is the point where we kind of describe what's going on in the game, right? And chat about that. So, CloverPit takes place inside of like a 6x6 room called the Cell. There is a slot machine on a desk. There is a recycle bin underneath you, a drawer, some desk space. And then behind you are a chest of drawers, a shop, I guess, right, that you would call it, where you get items to affect your run.
Yeah, they're like the Lucky Charms.
Yeah, Lucky Charms and other stuff like that. A red phone hooked to a wall, a little monitor, a toilet, which is very nice of them, I thought.
Yeah, well, half
And
toilet.
yeah, a little half broken toilet. And then the ATM, right? So and the ticket dispenser, right, to your right there. So the gist of the game is that every round you have to earn a certain number of coins, zenny, whatever you want to call this stuff, right? Underneath you, there is a grate that leads to a big, dark, empty hole. And if you don't reach the deadline, you fall into the pit of darkness, right? Very creepy aesthetic, right? Very much akin to some of the other roguelikes, right, out there.
Buckshot Roulette specifically is the one that really jumps out at me.
I knew you knew.
Yeah.
So the whole point then is to just go gambling, like we said. You either can put in a few coins and get a few spins, or you put in a lot of coins and get a lot of spins, right? So depending on kind of where you're at the deadline, you indicates kind of which spin you go with. So there's also a currency called tickets, right? So the tickets are how you buy charms, which affect your gameplay, sort of the roguelite element, I would say, right? Or not really, but like more of the modifier.
They are. They're like the relics, the modifiers, basically.
Yep. And you can either take, like I said, so you can either take the little buy-in and get more tickets, or you take the big buy-in, you get more spins but fewer tickets, right?
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of strategy in that. There's strategy in what kind of relics you get, and we'll talk a little bit more about what the relics are and what they actually do, and stuff like that. The charms, I should say. And yeah, so sort of what was kind of your strategy going into it, and then what did it end up becoming? Because I kind of figured it out pretty quickly as to what I always kind of aimed for,
Hmm.
but you know, I'm curious to hear because there's so much in this game that I didn't even get to. I'm curious to see what you sort of did.
Yeah, so I guess we'll talk about my first run that went to the moon. I guess we'll start off
Yeah.
there for me.
Okay.
So yeah, every game starts off the same, right? The first two rounds are essentially like non-punishing for the most part, right? You kind of
Yep.
almost, unless your luck is completely garbage, you'll make it out of there without investing anything at all, or like just investing, I guess, right before the brim of your debt amount. So just you have a higher interest.
Hmm.
So every round of spins, you get interest back from from your play at the slot machine, basically. And my first run that went to the moon, where I made it to like my debt was like 1.6 billion.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I got like that was like maybe like 6 or 7 runs in. I unlocked like a couple extra charms at that point. That was a fruit run. So like I had one that allowed fruit to proc twice. I had the one that gave extra interest every time like a small symbol showed up on the fruit, and I hit a line with them. And then another one which allowed me to double if it hits a different symbol as well on the fruit, like so cherries and lemons specifically.
Hmm.
Those are the lowest value, but the reason why I ended up going that build was because I got both choices at the red phone. Those are your like kind of your boons, I guess, if you want to compare them to Hades, where those are your permanent modifiers. Because the relics you can get rid of as well too. That's a nice thing about this game.
Hmm.
But I had ones where I like have the chance of bells and clovers, and have the chance of sevens, diamonds, and treasure chests, which are all higher value than the lemons and cherries,
Hmm.
right? And then I had charms that it kept scaling every time I hit those symbols as well. So it kind of just stacked up. You know what I mean? It was like one of those things, like it just like a lucky run, got the right relics. Re-rolled relics to get the nice ones that I specifically wanted for my build. And yeah, that was basically it. Like just I just kept high rolling on like the lucky charms, reduced chances for the higher cost or higher payout symbols, but because I kept hitting the smaller, the two fruit symbols, they were increasing in base value. So like by the time my run was done, lemons and cherries were worth like 260 and 300 coins a pop,
Hmm.
basically. Like minimize the games like this where it's very heavily RNG based. Same as Balatro, even like Slay the Spire to an extent. In a deck build roguelike, it's about reducing how bad RNG can punish you, and bending the rules so that your deck essentially functions. I think I had Lucky Cat as well too. So every time I hit that little symbol, that gives me half of my interest, and because it was doubling, like or popping twice essentially, or scoring twice, I was just making like millions for every spin that I did by the end of that run. But yeah, that was like my first big like to the moon run. And then after that, I started experimenting more with trying to get other symbols, or trying to increase my pattern modifiers or symbol modifiers, stuff like that. So like early on, that kind of run is like you're looking for like, okay, now I understand how scaling works. I understand how flat bonuses works. You know what I mean? Like, you remember I said before, when I was playing like Slay the Spire or Cryptid the Necrodancer, where if I'm not good at a game right off the bat, I will just play learning runs and not care about winning. I'm just trying to learn what the game is.
Hmm.
It was like me early on was like, okay, I'm just gonna throw myself into what I think are bad situations and see how I can work my way out of them. And it actually worked out that way for me to help me understand the game very, very well.
Hmm. Gotcha. So it's funny. We did basically the same strategy, but for different um symbols. I immediately went for sevens. Like I just said,
Mm.
fuck it. I'm going with sevens because
Hmm.
for me it was like
High value.
they're the highest value. So like I just stacked luck and ran sevens as much as I could, and every phone call I got was all about sevens, and basically I just wanted to see seven as much as I possibly could because
Hmm.
I tried doing what you did, right? Because I like in Balatro, I knew that I could always get two pairs, so I would try to run two pairs. In this game, I didn't have a lot of success going for the easy, the easy symbols,
Higher probability symbols.
right? The higher probability symbols. So I said, well, fuck it. I might as well just try to get the highest cost symbols, highest value symbols I can, and that's what I did.
And you can
So
also increase said
right,
probability of those symbols as well through the phone calls.
yes, yes, you can.
Where the one thing I forgot to talk about is the so I had again halved the clovers and bells,
Yep,
halved
yep, yep.
the three high symbols. So my base symbols were actually, you know, obviously even higher at that point, right? Of possibility of even showing up in my spins. I also increased the base amount that'll show up every spin by one for each one of the lemons and the cherries. So you can also do that as well with the higher cost symbols. So if it makes sense to actually like kind of go for a high roll build if you get lucky with the phone calls.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, luckily enough, especially for my first winning run, I was able to get a lot of seven themed or like you mentioned, like cutting the probability of like cherries or not cherries of like lemons in half and clovers in half, right?
Hmm.
So it all kind of came together and it worked out pretty well for me. But yeah, so the telephone, you get a mysterious call, and this is kind of like your these are kind of like the vouchers in Balatro, right? So they have like overarching effects for the run, but
Yeah, like permanent for the
they're
run.
random every time, right? There
Yeah,
are also different
booms.
things you can do with the phone. As far as apparently, I didn't even know this.
I started getting there. We'll touch upon that
Yeah.
later.
Okay. Um. So that's kind of like the phone is also a very powerful tool, especially when you're like early on,
Yeah, yeah.
um, learning the game and early on in your runs. The phone is like a godsend a lot of times, and combining them with the lucky charms and when you get that good run, it feels really good. You know, again, we talk about like the ooh monkey kind of brain going on here, and slot machines are really good at that. And this game does a really good job of triggering that ooh
Yeah.
monkey brain when you see all the things lighting up, and you get if you get a full screen um of your symbol.
You
Oh
get the
my
jackpot.
god. Yeah, when you
Yeah,
get the
yeah.
jackpot, I'm like, "Oh my god."
Because it does the same thing as Balatro, where like the sounds speed up, they pitch up. You know what I
Yep,
mean? Like
yep,
because it's
yep, yep.
stacking and stacking and stacking.
Like a good slot machine.
Yeah, yeah. Just like like I'm curious to see if they had the same thing where with Balatro where they're like, yeah, we're like like if when we die, like the rights to this game like has to go, like this game has to be shut down or whatever, just like, not never allowed to be sold off to
Yep.
like actual like casinos or anything because this is I said before I'm not much of a gambler anyway, but this is like ooh I can see how this could be dangerous. You
Yes.
know what I mean? Like for
Yes.
if this luckily we're not playing with any real money here. This is just like the slot machine is more of just like a mechanic or like a setting for everything else. You know what I mean? In the way I've been perceiving this game anyway. But yeah, like so the phone calls, yeah, you're allowed to skip them basically, just straight up
Yep.
if it like nothing's there for you. More often than not, if you're not going for anything particularly, you can just kind of grab one or two. It doesn't really grab them or whatever. You know what I mean? It can hurt your deck a little, or can hurt your run a little bit if it's not something that particularly synergizes with your run.
Mhm. Okay.
Or you can spend tickets to re-roll. So you can, if you have a lot of tickets or you have some sort of engine to give you more tickets, you can be a little more lax on trying to find specific ones for your particular play or your run going on at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I'm reading about something that I just discovered today, because I was looking at the wiki and I saw something that I hadn't seen before, and I'm like, wait, how do you do this?
Okay, okay. Is it particularly with the phone calls, or are you talking about like end game stuff?
This is definitely probably end game stuff, but like
Okay.
it is phone call related. So
Mm-hmm.
okay. So we talked about that. We talked a little bit about the charms. So the charms basically are like your jokers, right, in Balatro or any
Yeah.
other modifier in a roguelike game.
Yeah. They're your temporary modifiers. You can buy them. You can sell them
Yep.
to gain some, depending on the cost of them initially. You can get some currency back. It's basically sell them for half the price you bought them for. Same as the Jokers, basically
Yep.
in Balatro. And these are the ones I think are kind of a trap for a lot of people when they're trying to get better at the game, where you'll try to force something when the calls are doing something else. You know, if that makes any sense, right? Where you have to learn how to pivot out of your relics. You have to like learn how to not grow attached to some specific relics.
Yep. Agreed.
And but there are some relics that are basically permanent scaling, which are basically safe to take on like any run. Or safer, I guess, because again, like every run has to be different, right? You're never gonna get the same thing every time. So we have stuff in terms of the relics that are like, okay, every time you hit a button, there's a button on the slot machine as well.
Oh yeah,
That
the
like
big red button. The big red button is definitely addicting.
triggers effects. There are some basically that essentially they require a recharge after a certain number of rounds.
Yes.
But they have like they basically increase chances for certain things to show up during your spins. There is a whole other thing here with like timing, where some have 4 to recharge, 5 to recharge, 1 to like next round it'll recharge again. So these are absolutely like the earlier like these are earlier boosts in your run, and then more specifically towards like I want to say like your 4th or 5th debt, you have to start to learning how to pivot out of specific ones or get rid of certain ones so you can scale faster or harder, basically.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there are some, and you can tell because they have the pepper system, which is super duper like was super confusing
Chancy,
to me at first,
yeah,
but because I'm like, how do I tell which one is which? But then no, there is like a faint difference between uncommon and rare peppers. But like your
yeah.
common peppers, obviously, are like the ones that you'll get a little early on. Uncommons, you see every once in a while. Rare, and then you have the legendaries that I think I've maybe seen one of these, like a one
Mm-hmm.
time.
Okay. Yeah, and like and those could also have modifiers in them as well
Yes, they
too.
can. Yes, they can.
So I guess let's go through some of the more into mechanics, I guess, of this game, right?
Hmm.
The modifiers that go on the charms are the ones that are like the synergies that I have started to like really look for, where like I get plus 3% to my interest every, for just for having the charm on my table,
Yep. Yep.
or I actively increase my chances of triple sixes, or +1 or +2 to my patterns modifier. Again, however, like the lines or the shapes that get made during your spins, or your symbol modifiers where it multiplies them as well, or ones that give you more tickets at the end of the round,
Yep.
or ones that give you free rerolls at the end of your round. So there's essentially the way I'm looking at this is like same as how I play Slay the Spire, where everything is a resource. Your tickets are a resource, your rerolls are a resource, your triple sixes are a resource essentially, depending on what kind of build you're going into.
Right.
Obviously your money is a resource, and the relics and the charms themselves are resources. So these are all expendable in my opinion. Like they have to be, because that's how you learn how to pivot and kind of shape your final setup to go to the moon in this game essentially. Your spins, you kind of like want to use them to manage your currency, your tickets. You can end rounds early for a higher bonus for in the earlier rounds.
Hmm.
Specifically tickets, so you can spin and like spend more stuff, and then hopefully find something better. Um, and I think that's most of them from my understanding, right? Where the modifiers on the charms, and again, the charms can also have these same modifier as well too, where they have pattern multipliers or symbol multipliers. So if you can get lucky, you get the double synergy on one specific item, which is always fun to see. But they will cost more. Like they will cost more tickets
Yeah.
to buy on top of that, and and those are denoted by a flashing color essentially. Like it'll essentially like kind of cover the JPEG of the image. You know what I mean? In like a bright green or bright yellow or red, depending, or orange, depending on what modifier you have on said charm.
Yeah. We should also mention too the the 666 thing you mentioned. So you
Mm.
have a chance to draw or spin a 666, right? And if you get 666 three times in a run, in a run, not a run, like a, what do they call them?
rounds,
Yeah, like a
spins.
round. Yeah, during your spin round, whatever. Um, you lose all your coins for that attempt, and that sucks.
Earlier on, so you see triple sixes at the start of round 3
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because it'll increase from like 76 or 74, whatever it is for the first round, 240 something for your second round. Then the third round is 666 is your debt you have to
Yeah.
pay back basically. And from that point on, anytime you hit triple sixes, you lose all of the money you acquired in that round. I think it's a round or two later. If you spin a triple six, you lose all of the money that's not currently banked into the ATM.
Yeah.
Early on, they're very scary. You think, oh, I'm ruined after I see one of these things, right? But there are relics that kind of mess with like the unseen numbers in the background.
Okay. Yeah.
And yeah, so there's luck in this game, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it is a numerical luck in this game.
No, yeah, I abuse luck all the time in these
Yeah,
runs.
so yeah, my second run in this game was purely running on like I had the one of the records that says like on turn 7 get 7 luck or spin 7 get 7 luck, and I
Yeah.
had this upside down hand with an eye in it, which also increases luck by like 4 or 5 on the last turn. And then I also had one of the redstone, which when you press it, you get +4 luck.
Yep, that was basically my run too. That was exactly I just looked for it. It's the rotated Hamza. It's a
Mm,
hand. It's basically like the Baphomet hand, how he has like the right hand up, but it's upside down. It's
yes.
got an eye in the middle. And yeah, so every single time you get the final quote unquote final spin of the round, you get +7 luck. You can combine that with the other thing that I had here with the fake coin, which
Yes.
randomly gives you an extra spin, and then
With
you
like
get.
+4 luck on top
Hmm.
of it.
Yep, that's a great little early, especially like early game. That's a really
Yeah.
good synergy.
Costs 1 ticket to buy it.
Yeah,
The hand is 3, so you have to kind of plan out for it, kind of thing
right.
to acquire that one.
Hmm.
And basically because the record was every 7 and there are 7 spins in every round if you do the higher value one. And then the button can be saved for any time you want, and that refreshes every round. I have what is it? So it's what's the hand? How much does the hand give you? 7.
7 luck. Yep.
Okay, so yeah, so the spin gives me 7, the hand gives me 7, and the button gives me 1. So at 15 luck, it's like a 90 something percent chance to get a jackpot, basically. Because like the game says specifically at one point there's like one of those like info screens. It says like 15 luck is a is a jackpot, but it's not always. Especially once you get triple sixes involved. Because I think triple six percentages is like usually around like 1.5%. I think it is at base value. I think that ignores your luck percentage. But early on, that'll just basically carry you for the first 3 or 4 rounds.
Hmm.
Just having that hot 14 to 15 luck basically to start you off every game.
Did you find that the triple sixes popped up a lot more than 1.5%?
I've had runs where they showed up a lot, where I got hit with like 5 in one run.
Yeah, that's kind of like my thought.
But for the most part, I relatively low chance for them from my experience. But that's also like how probability works, right? It's like it's like 1.5% chance, but that's reset essentially every time, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm no mathematician. Like like I'm good at math. I hate math though. That's literally how probability works. So it's like I kind of had to like acknowledge and kind of get away from like my biases. It was just like, this game hates me, or this is some bullshit luck. And it's like, nope, that's literally how it works. This is how numbers work.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know a lot of it, especially like a lot of times, it would get to a point where I'm just like, I don't really know what's going on half the time. I'm just like, all right, spin it. I just want to spin.
Mm,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean? And just
yeah, absolutely.
and just pray that it would work. And you know what? A lot of times I died, but other times I lived. So you know what?
It's the
Sometimes
gamble.
you just got to spin and win, baby. That's all it is.
There's a bit of me that I had to like acknowledge. I want to say after like one of my 4-hour play sessions, my eyes glazed over and I was just spinning and kind of throwing myself at the wall. You know what I mean? And like just losing runs
Uh
really, really
huh.
early. And it's like, oh no, like that's the weird thing, right? I feel like there's like a weird mental game going on at the same time where I have to resist that urge to just pull the lever and like and always constantly be thinking of like what I'm trying to do. You know what I mean? It's kind of that weird dopamine hit, right? When you hit a couple jackpots and then like now everything else when it's not a jackpot or when you're starting your run over because you've lost. Oh, I'm not getting the big numbers anymore. Whatever, just press the button because I don't care right now, right? But I have to like fight the urge to like essentially tune out for the first 3 rounds every time I start a new game.
Yeah, especially for me, somebody who enjoys a nice little slot machine every once in a while after playing, after playing roulette and the card games for a while. I like, I'll sit and play some roulette, get some drinks, and chill out. And a lot of
Mm.
times, that's what would be my downfall. Was just like I just want to watch the numbers go or the letters go around. Watch the
Yeah,
symbols
especially
go.
for that. Like, look, yeah, that monkey neuron activation,
Uh-huh.
basically, right? Again, I had to fight that once I had a couple runs go to the moon, and then starting over is like, oh man, I'm only getting 12 per spin. Boo, it's
Yeah.
like no, like you have to be locked in as much as possible.
Right. You forget that you're playing a game and you're not just playing slots. And then all of a sudden
Yeah,
the ground starts shaking. And I'm like, ah, shit, I died. Oh, well.
yeah. Like, what did I do? And it's like, well, you wasted like 15 spins,
Yeah.
so it's like, oh yeah,
Oh,
okay, true.
well. Time to play again. What's another
Yeah,
run? Ho hum.
yeah. So like, how long was your like winning runs? How many? If it, well, because like there's so there's 4. I think we never talked about that either. There's 4 like drawers underneath your charm shop basically, and a quote unquote one run in the beginning, like when a winning run in the beginning, is just unlocking one of those guys, right?
Yep.
Early on.
Exactly.
So did you unlock all 4?
Yes, I did.
Okay. How long did those runs take you early on?
I would say, I mean, it doesn't take that long. Like to clear a run is maybe only about 15, 20 minutes, right? Like
Okay.
just to get through the minimum amount of deadlines to quote unquote complete a run.
I think it's like deadline 7. I think it is.
Yeah, it's only about a 15, 20 minute. Like you could continue to go further. Like my longest run is about a half hour.
Mine's about an hour 15.
Yeah. You got further than I did.
But and I'll touch upon that why that was actually dumb of me to do later. Okay, so yeah, 15, 20 minutes. Yeah, if you're playing fast and you're kind of like, exactly what you're looking for and you kind of just pivot early and you're flexible with your build, yeah, it's relatively fast to get to that 200,000-ish, I think it is, for the unlocking the key.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, for my average run, because I'm usually spending a lot more time reading. I'm like reading all of the charms, the synergy, trying to devise the synergies and understand how the game works. Average for me was like 25 to 30. And then I unlocked like all 4 in like 4 games in a row, like 4 runs, 4 winning runs in a row. And that was when I was like, oh, the game's starting to click for me. And then when I was trying to do one of the finishes with the corpse parts, which we should touch on, is when the game had to actively slow down because now I'm trying to win under much more difficult conditions.
Oh no, I'm looking at it now. I have so much more I have to do. I didn't unlock the 4th drawer.
Okay.
So I need to go. I mean, I'm gonna play anyway, but like, shit, man, I gotta finish this game.
So let's go into unlocking all the drawers then, right? So
Yep.
you will get a relic called that is a skull, basically. Yep. And once you get that doesn't actually eat up a charm slot. It goes onto your slot machine. And when you get that, a random relic will appear in one of your drawers, depending on how many corpse parts you get. So corpse parts is basically like 4 arms or 2 arms and 2 legs, essentially.
Yeah. There's not a Machamp in the drawer.
Yeah.
Or Goro.
Those increase the difficulty of the run by raising the debt.
Right. So you get
5% per part.
Yep. You can alternatively do this. I accidentally got a corpse part because I left something in the drawer and then finished a run. And then
and that's part of the game, honestly, for actually getting the higher clears.
Yeah, so that's kind of how I did it. Was I left stuff in the drawers, and then it just said left arm. Here's a corpse part, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Like, what does it do?
Yeah, it's like 5% debt. I don't want that. I'm just gonna leave it in there.
Yeah, Yeah, early on, I'm like, why do I want this? Well, I'll just throw
Yeah.
it away early on, right? And then I figured out, oh no, I need these because of the skull synergy.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
there's got to be a reason for it. You know what I mean? Like you know,
Right.
like they wouldn't just put this in here just to penalize you for no reason.
Right.
And so once you have knocked all 4 drawers, the gold key in there will change to a skeleton key,
Yep.
and so you need to leave 4 relics in the drawers so that when you start your next run, you will have 4 body parts in there, right?
Yep.
And you can't leave them in there every turn because they will disappear if you do so. So I grabbed those. I grabbed those relics. In the beginning part of my run, increases everything by 20. Increases your debt by 20% overall. And then I'll start. I won't try to grab the skull until later because the skull obviously is another 5% that I don't want to deal with for the debt.
Right.
But that also gives you more relics, so you can also just trade back in for or sell for tickets, or if you just need the space for them, so you can pocket charms for later. And once you get to that round 7 or debt 7 or debt 8, whatever it is again for the where you usually unlock said key right on the side near the toilet, that gives you a way to get out of the cell. That is the first ending of the game. There, I believe, from what I'm
Yep.
seeing, I didn't spoil anything for myself. I'm seeing there's at least 3 or 4 endings. I think from what it looks like.
It looks like there are 2 endings.
2. Okay, that's it.
You,
Okay, cool.
no matter what, you get the bad ending, and if you do one other thing that I didn't know was a thing in this game until right now, you get the good ending.
So I'm going to go ahead and touch on that right now then. Okay. So I got my first bad ending.
Yeah.
Yesterday,
Yeah.
last night. I could have had the good ending on that lemon run to the moon.
Yeah.
But I got greedy.
Yeah.
And I don't want to end my run because, greed.
Right.
So you get a black skeleton key that gets you out. That's your bad ending, right?
Yep.
Which just leads to a long hallway and a slot machine at the end of this giant platform, basically. And you press it, and then it just screen blacks out. You get the sound, "Let's go gambling" again from the slot machine, and then your run ends.
Yep.
The good ending for this game is when you clear all that. But you have there's some tricks here that are necessary because there's a floppy disk that shows up on your slot machine
Yes.
with 666 on it. I had no idea what that was. Again, to be fair, this is relatively early still for me. There's maybe I'm like 20 runs in at this point. I had crossed out all 6s. I don't know I have no idea what that means. It's like a claw mark essentially that scratches out the 6s on the floppy disk. That is specifically by ignoring the phone calls, like not taking any of the modifiers from the red phone calls between rounds.
Right.
So you have to ignore 3 of them. And you have to have the skull, all the 4 corpse parts, and you have to have hit at least 1 666, which is easy to get because you technically start seeing them at debt 3.
Right.
And then the key will change to white, and that leads to the good ending.
Yep.
So I could have cleared that, but I wanted to see how high the number goes.
Yep.
And yeah, so I didn't. So I threw away my true clear ending basically.
Damn.
Yeah, but it's fine because the game also has a bunch of like memory card modifiers as well too, and a harder difficulty once you've cleared the base difficulty, I believe.
Yeah, I'm so upset. Like there is so much more to this game that I just didn't get to, and I'm gonna fix that.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, that's the addictive part of my brain, of
Right.
like specifically roguelikes, where I'm trying to unlock as much stuff as possible.
Yep. Yeah.
So that is it's just how we approach these types of games in the first place. That's kind of what I think what it is. Anything you have specifically, like any notable runs you want to talk about? Because again, I mentioned my luck, my like forced high roll on on spin 7, and my fruit like double everything, increase base value, and reduce everything else's percentage chances of spinning. Those are my 2 big runs that went to the moon.
No, basically, like I told you, like my strategy for this was just get all the 7 stuff I can and look at the shiny numbers.
Okay.
That was basically it. I mean, it's I probably should have and could have done a little more with like different strategies, but for me, that's what worked, and that's kind of the way that I've tailored my gameplay. So that's the cool part about these games, right? Is that everybody has a little bit of a different method of um you know, reaching the mountaintop, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited because like this just unlocked, like you said, I didn't spoil anything. I didn't look into anything on this. It took me hours upon hours to even start looking at stuff for Balatro, right? Let alone this that I only had, you know, a few hours in, and then knew I was like, okay, no, we got to save some stuff for the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which was basically my concept. I got like I'm looking at it. I have 2 hours in this game because I knew I was like, no, okay, we're gonna have to do this for the show, and I said to myself, like, yeah, we're gonna have to dive into this a little more. But now I'm happy to go right back in and dive more into it. I feel bad for Digimon because I don't know when the next time I'm gonna play Digimon. I'm trying to beat that, and now I just want to go gambling.
I mean, I basically did a lot of the legwork essentially at this point now, right? To try to figure out, and I'm giving out, you know, kind of tips out here
Right.
on recording, and obviously we're chatting offline as well too. You know, like learning how to pivot and like learning which synergies will go where, or how to, you know, take certain chances on the triple sixes to actually make your run go even harder, right? Because again, like triple sixes are super punishing early on, but then you get certain relics that benefit off of getting triple sixes that increase your luck by 10 for the next one, or you get +3, +2, +1 spins for your next 3 rounds for your once you hit a triple six. So you can extend your turns basically that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to this game in terms of like risk to reward, right? I mean, same as any other roguelike where you know you take the what is it, the void level 1 or 2 or 3, or the boss cells yeah, from Katana, or the boss cells from Dead Cells, where like, or taking the cursed rooms in Dead Cells. Like, why would I do that when I take one hit and I die now, right? And I throw in my run. No, you take those for the higher reward, and that's how you know you bust the game wide open.
Mm-hmm.
You know, learning how to pivot away from trying to force one specific tactic the entire time is obviously, you know, like, I understand like, oh, you find something that works, you're like, okay, sick. I'll just try to use this every time, right? But the whole point of roguelikes is to learn how to pivot and change on the fly. You have to be you have to be relatively flexible in this game type in general, especially when this is not an action game. It's not execution based or anything, right? It is specifically you trying to break or bend said rules in the game to accommodate your setup. And if there's a limit where you can change the rules to work with your setup, like, you know, you don't get the right relics, or you don't get the right modifiers from the phone call, you have to like be able to quickly change over. And say you keep getting all of these like bell charm like modifiers, right? Or like, okay, well, I guess I'll start grabbing a couple of those and grab one of the clovers because those are pretty, you know, medium possibility, medium value. So it's like, okay, maybe if I can just like take the median ground of it, of like how many coins I can score per round, it'll be better for me in the long run because I'm not expecting to high roll every single time. Especially because again, the triple sixes percentage chance ignores, I believe, your luck chance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot going on down here, and I want to get back into it. And I think you're right. I think it is something that like like, especially for me, like as a guy who finds sort of his like comfort build and
Build or
comfort
setup.
setup, yep, and wants to just keep doing the same thing every time. It's what I did in Katana, and
Mm-hmm.
it's what I've done here. I think you're right, but also like if it works, I mean, I don't know, but like you said, like there's nothing stopping me. I'm not actually falling into the pit, so I can just
Mm-hmm.
start over again. You know what I mean? That's kind of the
Yeah,
biggest
yeah.
thing for me is like, well, I mean, it just wasn't my run, right? So that was kind of my thing, and but you're right. I think there is something to that, and I think there's a lot of different ways to play this game. And I think that's the most exciting part because at the end of the day, it is literally a slot machine. There's nothing you can do. I mean, there are things you can do to increase your luck, but there's only so much you can do before like you're just at the mercy of RNG, right? You're just at the
Mm-hmm.
mercy of the slots. And I think that's
Yeah.
also kind of the fun part of the game too, is that there's and like a lot of these other like casino game roguelikes is like you are still at the mercy of the same things you would be if you were playing the normal versions of these games.
Mm-hmm.
You still have to draw the right card, you still have to spin the number or spin the symbol, right? I think that's kind of what makes this genre for me especially so much more fun than other roguelikes is because you're still at the mercy of the same things you would be if you were playing these games normally.
Yeah. So there's 150 distinct charms in this game. I have unlocked around 95. There's some where like you have to meet certain conditions, like sell a certain number of
Yep.
sell a certain number of relics, or buy a certain charm a certain number of times to unlock like the next version of it, or hit however many jackpots, right? Whatever it may be, right? From what I started doing research only really yesterday of like how to consistently win runs, because I would get to that sixth debt pretty regularly, but like the last one will like climb too high, or I start bad rolling, in a couple
Mhm.
rounds. And from what it looks like, at least in terms of like some people who are much further along in the game or have kind of fully cleared the game and now are just playing this for the exercise of learning how the game really really works and try to get as many wins in a row. Around 40 to 50 are the ones that are specifically the ones you need to for winning end game strategies.
Wow, yeah.
So it's a little bit like min maxing here, right? Obviously going
Mhm.
on, but that's for people who like really understand the game and really want to know everything about how to win this game, right? I also have gotten to the point where I've increased as many charms as I can on my table, where I can have like I think my max charm limit I think was 13 at one point.
Shoot, yeah.
Because you're limited to 7 in the beginning.
Right, right, right.
Then there's 2 relics that increase by 2. One it takes a spot, one the other one does not.
Mhm.
And then there's the red phone call, boon essentially that gives you an extra slot. And there's an item that allows you to essentially double one of said items.
Yep.
I remember getting to like 12 and being like, okay, this is pretty sick. I can be really flexible now because I can take some higher risk like late game scaling setups. You know what I mean? With like no pattern modifiers, only symbol modifiers, and just high rolling. There's different ways to play this, obviously. But in general, you want to have more charms available to you, throughout your run in general. Again, it's like, before we get too technical about how this game really really works, and like, because I'm not at that point yet where I don't understand 100% how the game
Mhm.
works so far, like percentage chances to see everything, even though like obviously a lot of it is shown on in that room somewhere. Yeah, like I'm at the point now of like, okay, I think I can comfortably say I'm in the point where I understand the game, but I don't know the game inside and out yet. Like I'm still like learning, like trying to figure out how to manipulate the game a little bit more for myself. One other thing I wanted to mention is saving your runs, I guess.
Okay.
Aside from just pivoting, right? Whereas because pivoting obviously takes a couple turns to do, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Selling charms, buying new charms, and not leaving yourself, out in the middle of the ocean essentially without a lifeline to make more coins or tickets or whatever. There's an item called the Ankh, right?
Yes, yes, yes,
Um,
yes.
and also when you don't have enough money for the debt, you actually have like 7 seconds, 8 seconds before you actually get dropped into the pit. So if you have an Ankh on your desk, automatically saves you. The Ankh basically gives you 2 more free rounds of spins. You can also put that in your dresser, your drawer.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
have time to put an item away and put it onto your desk, so it saves you that then as well too. You also have the chance to roll for it in the shop, essentially gamble in the shop as well.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I've done that. I've tried doing that.
Yeah, so if you have tickets available to you and enough money, because obviously you're not meeting the deadline, but you have money on you, you can re-roll in there to hopefully find the Ankh and give yourself another for 2 more rounds basically. So there's a multitude of ways to actually win this, to save yourself in this game. Whenever the debt is over, don't think that the game is over fully, because you can technically save yourself, one of those 3 ways. But I think from that point on, I think that's it. I think the Ankh is the only way to really save yourself if you haven't actually reached the debt limit.
Mm-hmm.
I think. But you said yeah, you saved yourself before doing so.
No, I tried doing it.
Tried. Okay, got it. Yeah, there's definitely also the runs where I forgot that it was in my drawer forever ago. I was like, damn it, I could have kept going, kind of thing. And I only need like 100 more coins to save myself,
Yep.
and I just forgot. I'm
Damn.
like, I absolutely just threw a runaway. Yeah.
It happens.
But yeah, so like again, that's kind of like your what was the card before in Dolatro where like if you didn't reach the limit, it would just save you like, as long as you had 30% of the debt already or the bounty.
Yeah. I thought it's not the luchador. It's the luchador changes rerolls the thing or eliminates the thing. The boss blind.
Yeah, but whatever it was, it's like 30%. As long as you have 30% of the bounty already reached, it just saves you basically. You don't get the rewards, but you got there. The Ankh, again, more of a delay than anything else. But as long as your slot machines are already kind of rolling, your bill's kind of rolling, those 2 extra spins should get you there. You have to be kind of realistic, right? Like where you're like, okay, this saves my run. It's like, does it though? You know what I mean? Because if you're not making enough and you're already missing one of the debts, it means it's kind of like a warning to you that like your charms and your setup is not working.
Yeah.
And you may need, it's more of like a last warning to like, you might need to pivot if you could barely clear this one. You know what I mean? That's kind of why I see it. But yeah, that's the end of my drop in here. Unless you guys have anything else to add.
That's all I got. I'm excited to get back in there though, but I mean that's all I have. But do you have anything else you wanted to go over? I mean, it sounds like you have a lot on your mind here, which is great.
Yeah.
Like I'm happy you really enjoy this. This is something that we wanted to play for the longest time. We knew when we saw it, we were like, okay, this is definitely going to be one of our games. So if there's more, please.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I really got for now. Because obviously, I still got to figure out a couple more things, still unlock a couple more things. But I can technically say that I could have cleared the game and gotten both endings already. I just didn't because I got greedy.
Yeah,
that's on me.
Yeah,
but again, I wanted to see how big the number goes, and it got to 1.6 billion. I was like, okay, well, I think that's the end of my run here.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think this is for me. I dumped in again like 15 almost 20 hours in this game now. Over the last week, and yeah, I got a lot out of it so far, and it is absolutely going into the like comfort rotation. You know what I mean? Of like Balatro, Spire, Dead Cells, of like easy roguelike games that I can just kind of pick up, put down if I have like 20-30 minutes to kill.
Yeah. This is going on the Ally again. This is going back in the rotation. We're gonna have to play a lot of this. Might be worth something revisiting later for the first time, I think, in this podcast's history.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. All right. Well, if you've made it this far, thanks so much for listening. Go get CloverPit. Go buy it wherever you can buy it. Go buy it.
It is also on mobile, by the way, for $5, I believe.
Yes. It's on sale a lot. It's on sale as of the recording of this. If you are listening the week the game came out, it very well. Okay, if you're listening to this the day it came out, you have until Monday, the 19th, to buy this game for $8. Okay?
There you go.
So go do it. Go get it. Pause this. Go get it. We're done anyway.
Okay, that's all I got.
But before you do it, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, all that jazz. Share us with your grandma. She likes gambling. I see her at the slot machine. Go share it with her. Go get her CloverPit. Go have her play the game. She can
Unless
gamble.
she's like hyper religious, this might scare her off a little bit.
No, but then because the good ending, spoiler,
you're right.
is to find Jesus in the form of a key and get out of gambling.
Purgatory gambling?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Good enough. Is that really purgatory? Is gambling all day purgatory? Or is that heaven? I don't know. You tell me. We'll see you guys next time.
Take care, guys. Let's go gambling!